Hello, everybody. This is Meena from Destination CEO. Happy Monday to everyone. How's everyone doing? I hope you guys are great. And if you're in Toronto, and if this is your first year in Canada, welcome to your first snow day. I hope you enjoyed it. But hey, remember, when the first snow falls, it is really slippery. So be careful out there. Enjoy the beauty, either inside or outside, but dress properly so that you can enjoy the season and not get stuck. Well, let's get started. I am super excited to be here with you today, and I'd like to share. I'd like to share a few experiences I've had this particular last week. I've spoken to some of you, and I've realized that many of you are feeling lost or ready to give up and thinking that, hey, this year has come to an end. I'm going to just take a break and move forward and start my job search again in the new year. Well, if that's something that you want to do, excellent. But what happens when the new year starts? Will you be ready, or will you have to start all over again? Are you going to have all the tools ready that you need? Are you going to have your action plan ready? Are you going to have all the connections ready? Right? These are questions that you need to ask yourself. So as I was talking to one of you, I hope that you are here, and I so wish that I could bring you online to just show people the difference that happened from our conversation to this morning. The first and foremost part of anything is your mindset, is your success mindset. You know, applying for positions with the negative attitude or the negative mindset to say, I'm going to apply, but I know it's not going to happen. I'm going to apply, but I've been doing this for so long, no actions happened. Well, the thing is, do you have a proper career action plan created for yourself? And are you following the steps? So I was talking to my mentor, and he said to me, Meena, one of the most important things that probably is missing in the conversations that you're having on live sessions or with many people is, how did you overcome some of those challenges? And, everybody knows that I started my career at the YMCA of Community and Employment Services 20 years ago as a receptionist. But a lot happened since then. Today, I'm a part-time professor at Humber College, one of the largest colleges in North America. I am an entrepreneur of a social enterprise called Destination CEO, where I teach job seekers how to be successful and how to get their dream jobs. And guess what? The product that I build, or the plan that I created 20 years ago has been, it wasn't just created at one shot and then it just simply stayed. No, it has been developed. So my mentor suggested perhaps I could throw light on some of those challenges that I personally faced and how I overcame, and help you with starting your own action plan. So let's talk about my first role. I started off as a receptionist at the YMCA. Wasn't easy to get. You all know the story. I had to have a relationship with a career coach who, because of that relationship, because she saw that I was dependable, that I was somebody that she can count on, referred me to her ex-company, which was the YMCA. And over there, I was first rejected for the position I applied for. Because yes, like many of you at that point, I did not have the Canadian experience. Now, it was an employment resource consultant role. So I understood the fact that I didn't have Canadian experience. How would I teach other job seekers how to get a job? But then there was an opportunity. She asked me to volunteer. I spoke to the manager. She gave me an opportunity. I volunteered. And during my volunteering period, I showed them what I could do in my role, and I ended up getting a job. But that was the first step. I stayed at the YMCA for 6 years. I got 5 promotions within that 6 years. I was involved in some of the most amazing, amazing things you can ever think of. For example, I started, along with the 5 promotions, I won the YMCA Excellence Award for exceeding the center's expectations. Along with that, I started a project. It was called a workshop called Employer Engagement. And guess what? We had 98% success. That wasn't a part of my role, but it was something that I was passionate about. You know, the struggles that I faced as a newcomer to be successful and get a job. I decided I'm going to package that, and I'm going to start, and I'm going to build this workshop where I'm going to bring in employers to speak to job seekers. And 98% of people, job seekers that were in those workshops, ended up getting offers, to the point where it was so successful that United Way acknowledged it and gave us $75,000 to keep running it. And that's not all. I actually perfected it and keep making it better and better. And I created a course out of it. And this is one of the final semester courses that I teach at Humber College at this point. Something that started 20 years ago. I was also involved in the Peace Medallion ceremonies. And the first person that I was involved in celebrating the Peace Medallion ceremony with was Jean Augustine. And if you guys don't know who Jean Augustine is, look her up. She was the first Black Canadian woman to join the federal cabinet. Okay, so all of those things came because of the 3 simple ingredients. Ambition. Yes, I started my career as a receptionist, but I could have been comfortable and stayed in that role and perhaps been there till now in that role. But that wasn't all I wanted to do. So I had the ambition to grow, and I wanted to do more. The first and most important thing that I did was to create a resource binder, which had resources for newcomers who were facing settlement issues. So how to look up proper housing areas, schools, how to get medical support in case you didn't have the OHIP card in the first 3 months. There were a lot of resources I put together, and that resource binder is still there, and it has been enhanced. But as a receptionist, that wasn't my job. I started asking all of my managers, how can I help you? How can I support you? Is there anything that I can do for you? Right? And they started giving me things that, administrative duties in many cases, things that they had to do, but they didn't really have the time. So taking things off their plate, and yes, putting in a lot of my own personal time, because as a receptionist of a really busy center, I managed 10 incoming phone lines and answered more than 400 calls a day. Mind you, we also had almost 10 job developers and career coaches within the center, and I managed the schedule. So along with doing all of the administrative receptionist duties on the front desk, there was no time for me to do the other stuff, but I had the ambition. I had the passion. I wanted to make a difference. So I started building things. I started getting involved. I started helping other managers. And looking at that, I ended up getting promoted to different locations, to different programs, and I started learning. My last assignment with the YMCA was a secondment with United Way itself, where all of the childcare agencies were coming together to start a new project called Success by Six. I had no background in working with kids, but what I had was an ambition. What I had was a passion. What I had was relationship building skills, right? So with my relationship building skills in those time periods and along through my career, I've been able to develop myself. Many a times we start a job and we feel very comfortable. And trust me, when that sixth year came where my secondment was coming to an end and I had to go back to the YMCA, I had to think really hard. You know, I went from reception to employment to business development of YMCA Cedar Glen to a secondment with United Way with Children's Services. What was next? So I had to look back and look back at all of my achievements and really think, what did I enjoy the most? Where was I the happiest? And I realized it was with employment services, right? Unfortunately, at that time, there weren't any positions within the employment services. So I went and I did a Dale Carnegie workshop. And Dale Carnegie, as you know, one of my favorite authors. When I did his leadership workshop, I learned more about myself. And that's where I met my future employer, Valerie Benson, who got me into the recruitment industry, from where I started my own recruitment industry. And rest is history. I'll get to the other stuff at a different time. But, you know, I'm asking you as a job seeker, if you start off with a negative mindset, not moving forward. So to one of my participants I spoke to very recently, and she was having a hard time because she was applying for positions. She wasn't being successful. She was reaching out to people, but then she was getting stuck at the second level. When I asked her to post, she was having a hard time. So when I had the conversation with her just last night, and I said, you know, if you start off with that negative mindset, do you think that it's going to have a positive outcome? Do you believe that you're capable of getting that job? Do you believe that you have the skills, that you have the experience to do that job? If you do believe, then why is it that you're going with a negative mindset? Why isn't that you are starting off with a positive mindset? Why don't you have faith in yourself? Why don't you have faith in the universe that it is going to happen? So we had an emotional conversation, and she promised me that she's going to change her mindset. She promised me that she's going to thank God. I know I'm a little spiritual over here, but she promised me that she's going to thank God for all the blessings she has, and she's going to apply with a positive mindset. Guess what? Last night at 12:30 in the night, I had a WhatsApp message from her telling me that as soon as she finished her prayers, for some reason she was fiddling with her phone, and she had an email from a recruiter to an application she had recently applied for, asking questions on her availability. And she couldn't believe that could happen that quick. And this morning, she posted her first post. And I called her and I congratulated her on her success. I'll tell you another example. I had a similar conversation a few weeks back with another participant. And I asked her, you're a new grad, you're struggling to get your career started, but when I speak to you or when you're there in an interview, you're not showcasing the confidence that an employer wants to hear. If I, as an employer, going to invest my dollars in you, specifically in the world of COVID, and all I need to hear is that you can do the job, regardless of you knowing how to do the job, that you can do the job, that you have a learning attitude to do the job. If I don't feel that confidence, I'm not going to invest my time or money in you. This morning, she had an interview. She portrayed that confidence. She got the job offer. Sometimes, actually, all the time, it's about the mindset that you approach anything and everything with. So, my darlings, I urge you to look back and ask yourself, are you sure that you are ready? Because if you're not ready, then nothing is going to be fruitful. You might as well stop and reflect on why you're not ready. What is it that is stopping you from moving forward? And address that particular situation. There was a recent article about recruitment budgets post-COVID-19. And I want to highlight that particular article. And, hopefully if you guys want to read that article, I will share it in the links. So definitely let me know. By the way, I want to say hi to Michael Raymond. Hi, Michael. It's been a long time. He's on the stream, so I'm excited to see him here. And hi, Karimbeer. Hi, Hita. Thank you so much for your comments. Michael was one of my ex-bosses, and yeah, I gave him a lot of gray hairs, but another phenomenal leader who made a difference in changing lives of so many people, sometimes through his sarcasm, but all the time through his honesty. He'd point out things that I would like to push the boundaries on. And he'd make me realize certain things in his own way where I could do better. So Michael, the fact that you're here, thank you. I'm really excited. And I hope that you are just as proud of me now as you were then when I brought in over 200 people for a career fair where you didn't want. Anyways, going back to what I was talking about with your career action plan. Once you work on your mindset and you've addressed your success blockers, now you need to start creating a plan. We talked about SMART goals, timely SMART goals. Understanding this year has about 6 weeks left, and to be honest, 4 weeks before we get into the holiday season. Are you ready for your new offer in the new year? If you are, what are you doing about it? Asking you a very simple question. Are you giving up to say, I'm going to start in the new year? Are you thinking, hey, let me start at least the plan on what I'm going to do in the new year? Guess what? Right now is a crazy hiring rush. Yes, I know it's the lockdown. Certain organizations are going to probably start hiring in the new year, but that's not the case for all the organizations. Right now at Humber College, with my Career Connections program, all of my students are getting ready to reach out to leaders or to organizations for capstone projects. What are capstone projects? These are year-end projects that most academic institutions specifically that do not have co-op get to work on. So these are year-end projects where students get together in groups, reach out to the organizations, reach out to the industry and say, hey, we have these skills, we have these resources to offer. Do you have a problem that we can solve? So my students at Humber College are quite nervous. And, this is the first time they have to reach out to the industry. So the first thing I tell them is research organizations that you want to be a part of, that you believe in their values, that you're passionate about things that they are doing. And once you know who are these organizations, go directly to the top. Now, obviously, I teach careers in tech industry. So I'm getting all of my students to reach out to the CTOs or the VPs of tech. So VP of IT, CTO, any senior technical director within organizations, and showcase, these are our skills, this is our team, this is what we can do. Is there a problem that you would like us to solve for you? And yes, many organizations are going to tell them, no, thank you, we don't need it, we're not ready. But there are many organizations that would be happy to connect with this free resource and give them the opportunity. Why? Because they have problems, specifically now in COVID, where everything is focused on digitizing. Now is the time where most CTOs are thinking, how do I manage my budget at the same time create solutions for these challenges we have? I'm going to update you on how well they fare. But thinking about your career action plan, who are the people that you're going to be reaching out to? And how are you going to be reaching out to? So you've decided what your SMART goal is. You've put a time frame that you want to start your new career. Let's say 1st of January, 4th of January, 7th of January, beginning of January, beginning of the new year, whatever your time frame is. What are you going to do from now until then? Do you have the skills that are required for the jobs? Do you know who are the people responsible for making the hiring decisions? Do you know what projects they are involved in? If not, those are some of the key ingredients that you want to get involved in. So that's a little bit about the hidden job market and how you target the hidden job market. And I'll talk more in detail about the hidden job market next week. But let's come back to the COVID-19 situation and how it's affecting the recruitment budget. So one of the most important things that anybody will ever tell you is the soft skills. Soft skills, which are your personality attributes, are just as important to get the job as are your hard skills, which are the technical skills to do the job. So in today's COVID world, what does that mean? So 92%, as per this article written by LinkedIn, 92% of talent professionals are saying that soft skills are probably a little more important than the hard skills. Hard skills can be taught, but soft skills need to be there. These are your attitude. I talked about the 3 ingredients: the passion, the ambition. The third one was creativity, relationship building. So in your case, as you're building out your career plan, right? If you know in today's day and age, virtual interviews are the most important aspect. I mean, in lockdown, 90% of interviews, unless it is for essential roles, these are happening virtually. Are you comfortable with the virtual space? Are you comfortable talking to yourself on a camera? If not, what do you have to do? I'll tell you one thing. I'm extremely, extremely uncomfortable looking at a camera, knowing that that I am talking to you, but I'm literally talking to myself, right? I cannot see you. I'm extremely uncomfortable, but I need to push myself because there's a message that I need to convey out there. What is the message you need to convey? Your talent. Are you conveying it? Are you comfortable with it? What are the qualities when we're doing a virtual interview, when we're talking about soft skills? What are the qualities that people are looking at? Not how you look or how you dress, but how do you communicate? Are you communicating effectively? Do you have the confidence in your voice? When you're saying that you have the learning attitude, do you have the confidence in your voice? Last week, I was in a webinar, and it was one of the guest speakers was Satish Kanwar. Satish actually is the general manager of Shopify. I'm sure most of you know Shopify. Right? They have grown leaps and bounds. They were one of the first companies to announce that they're going to be making it work from home for, as I think, for all of their people, all of their employees. They're one of the most amazing organizations. There's huge diversity and inclusion and growth and just creativity and all of those things. Like, I admire Shopify and admire the people that work in Shopify. And I must admit, I know a lot of people that are working in Shopify, and a lot of them are Humber graduates from my own program. So I'm really proud of having that relationship. But one of the things that Satish was saying was that, right now, the key skill that we're looking for as we are growing and we are evolving are these soft skills, are these personality attributes, is this attitude that if I hire you, I can train you with the technical skills, but can I depend on you? Can I count on you? Will you be the person that will fit in? Will you be the person that is going to grow in the team? Are you willing to do the job? Do you want to do the job? Is this your passion? Right? How do you showcase that? It's really having that confidence and having that excitement in your voice when you're making those relationships, when you're building those relationships, right? When my career coach referred me to the YMCA, I had to spend some time with her, not because she was assessing my technical skills, because at that time, I mean, face it, I really had no technical skills. I only had great Microsoft skills. But besides that, what else did I have? I have my soft skills, right? I knew how to answer the phone. I knew how to speak effectively. I knew my communication skills were great, right? So she referred me. Had I not been all of that, I don't think that she would have referred me. I don't even know what would have happened in my career at that time. Have you built those relationships with people where they think of you when a position either within their organization or within their network shows up? And if not, isn't this the best time that you build those relationships? Let relationships not be transactional. Don't connect with somebody just because you need something. Connect with somebody because there is a reason that you want to connect. Could be about, the things that they're doing. Could be about their background, their story, their profile, right? Tell them why you admire them. Start building on those relationships. Because even if you don't get a job right now, that relationship is what your net worth is. Like my friend Mark Blash of Toronto Job says, your network is your net worth. And I'm sure that everybody will tell you that, right? You may not have that kind of relationship with everybody, but 4 or 5 advocates for yourself. You know the best recommendation? It's a recommendation that happens when you're not in the room. Do you have those relationships with certain people within the industry? And if not, what are you waiting for? So as you have your SMART goal, now you want to look at organizations that are doing things that you want to be involved in. And then you look at people who are doing those things within those organizations, who have those hiring authorities, who have the leadership model. You know, as I mentioned, Michael, there was a reason why I was very attached to Michael. Michael had experience working with at-risk youth. And I was really passionate about making a difference in the lives of at-risk youth. So I wanted to learn from him. And he shared a lot of his wisdom with me many times. And he taught me the challenges that at-risk youth go through. Many of them I wasn't aware of. I come from a protective society where I didn't know a lot about it. But when Michael shared the challenges that at-risk youth went through, I started thinking of what can I do to make a difference? And yes, I partnered, Destination CEO partnered with YMCA once again a couple of years ago and helped over 300 at-risk youth get successfully employed. Well, see, I only understand the whole employment and the job development piece, right? I can only tell you the challenges I faced and how I overcame them. You have to make the decision if you want to overcome them. And if you do, then you need to start working out your plan. But just working out a plan is not enough. You need to take action to it, right? We're talking about the hidden job market. Let me take you a step on the other side. Going back to that article about the impact of recruitment budgets. To ensure equality, to ensure equity in hiring, a lot of organizations are spending tons and tons of dollars in making their applicant tracking systems better, in making their HR management systems better, right? So is your resume speaking to the different audiences of the hiring authority? When we're talking about LinkedIn, LinkedIn doesn't even need anybody to promote, because all of us, the career coaches, be it anything to do with job search, personal branding, all of those things, right? They're promoting LinkedIn. Why? Because 90% of hiring is happening in LinkedIn. So if your profile is not speaking to your passion, if your profile is not sharing the story of your accomplishments, is it going to attract the attentions of the recruiters that you're trying to attract? If you reached out to me and you say to me, Meena, I want to be involved with Destination CEO. Fantastic. As what? Right? I'm not hiring. I'm a job developer. I'm a career coach. Destination CEO is a social enterprise where more than 30 industry leaders volunteer their time to mentor job seekers. So when you reach out to them and say, hey, do you have any position in your company for me? Well, yeah, I have a position as a participant, which will cost you money. Is that what you're looking for? So spend some time in researching the organizations and reach out to people that you want to connect with, that can help you with your career goals. And don't make it transactional. A lot of times, you have a great conversation with someone, They give you certain tips. Do you take it to the next level of publicly thanking them for the tips that they gave you? You learned something. They invested their time in you. Did you thank them? Sending them a personal message is sometimes not enough. You need to take that opportunity that somebody took out an hour or 30 minutes of their time and spent with you on your request. Thank them publicly so they also feel good. There are two reasons for that. A, they'll want to do something back for you. More, they'll appreciate you. How does that help your profile? Well, you get visibility, not just from them, but from their entire network. Two, when you publicly thank somebody, they want to do more of it. They feel good about it. It shows that you acknowledge them, you appreciated them, and they want to do more. So many people like you get help, but many of you don't do that. You just spent an hour with someone they took out the time from their very busy schedule, but was just advice. That's not how you build relationships. So key aspect of your career action plan is to acknowledge people so that they feel good, but you also benefit from them. So going back to my thing about your LinkedIn profile, it also talks about your resume. If 90% of hiring is happening on LinkedIn, which means your profile is your selling factor, and you're applying for jobs on LinkedIn, is your resume speaking of accomplishments? Is the resume that you have uploaded on LinkedIn talking about what you've achieved so far? Or is it just the job duties? You may be a great Java developer, and Java might be on your resume. Well, what did you do with Java? What problems did you solve? How did you make things efficient in the last organization or in your project? How many members were in your team? What role did you play? Is all of that mentioned on your resume? If not, I want you to spend some time to look at your resume and fix those things. So the third step on your career action plan is to get your job search tools ready. As you're building your tools and as you're connecting with people, you're building those relationships. You're building your value. You're building what you're showcasing what people want to know about you, your professional story, with a little bit of your personality, of course. So I want you to think about these three things. Very important. If organizations are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in bettering their ATS systems, is your resume ATS friendly? And if not, how can you make it ATS friendly? Two, LinkedIn is the main hiring source or platform that you're using. Is your LinkedIn profile ready? Does your LinkedIn profile have the keywords that are attracting recruiters? Are you visible? Is your online brand ready? There's another stat. Are you comfortable with your virtual interviews? So LinkedIn has incorporated, as you know, LinkedIn has different platforms for different users. So there is the regular platform for most job seekers, but there is a paid platform for recruiters. And in that paid platform, they have incorporated LinkedIn intro video. So before a recruiter sends you a request, if you've applied for a position, they may just send you a link to that introduction video. And if your video speaks to them, maybe it's a 2-minute video, maybe it's a 3-minute video. If your video speaks to them, they'll probably go to the next steps. So how's your virtual presence? Start thinking about it. No one has any questions here. That's pretty sad. Okay. Well, if you want to think of any questions and you want to send me a direct message, I'm more than happy to answer them. But start thinking career action plan. You have these next 4 weeks to make a huge difference in your own career action plan. If you want to get started in a new career, if you want to start your career in the new year, you want to start thinking, do you have your tools ready? Do you know which organizations you want to be a part of? Who are the senior leaders of that organizations? Are you connected with them? Have you made a value proposition? If you just started a new job, are you connecting with people within your organization? Are you building relationships? It takes time. But isn't that what you have? Well, thank you so much for being a part of the show. I hope this was helpful. This is Meena Dalwani from Destination CEO. I look forward to seeing you all next week. But in the meantime, happy Monday. Enjoy this beautiful day. It's cold, so stay in. But start thinking, start reflecting on what it is that you probably are missing. And then address those blocks. Have a beautiful start of this wonderful week. Keep a positive mindset, and the rest of the things will just flow. Have a great day. Bye.